You finally did the one thing they genuinely never expected you to do. You just stopped chasing them. And now, in the heavy silence they created, they are watching your every move. It feels incredibly strange, doesn't it? Knowing that the person who once ignored your pain is now quietly obsessing over your absolute silence. For the longest time, you were the one doing all the heavy lifting. You were the one reaching out, trying to fix things, trying to make them understand. You poured your entirely beautiful soul into a bottomless pit, hoping they would finally see your worth. But every time you tried harder, they just pushed you further away. They loved the power of having you constantly on their hook. Every text you sent, every tear you cried, it fed their fragile ego. It gave them this twisted sense of superiority to watch you scramble for crumbs of affection. They were completely convinced that you were permanently trapped in their exhausting emotional orbit. But then, something shifted deep inside of you. You woke up one day and realized you were totally exhausted. The constant anxiety, the endless questioning of your own reality, it just became too heavy to carry. You didn't even make a grand dramatic exit. You simply decided that you had nothing left to give to this dynamic. You withdrew your energy, your attention, and your light. You stopped checking their social media, you stopped waiting for a fake apology, and you stopped trying to prove that you mattered. You packed up your emotional bags and silently closed the door. And that quiet departure? That was the loudest thing you could ever do. At first, they probably thought it was just a temporary phase. They assumed you were just throwing a tantrum and would eventually come crawling back to them, begging for validation. They waited in their comfortable arrogance, fully expecting their phone to light up with your familiar desperation. But those days turned into weeks. The silence started to stretch out, becoming thick and suffocating for them. The emotional supply they had always relied on was suddenly cut off, entirely without warning. It is like turning off the oxygen valve on their ego. They are suddenly forced to confront a reality where they no longer control your actions or feelings. And that is when the quiet obsession actually begins. Because a narcissist simply cannot tolerate being forgotten. If they are not the center of your universe, their own universe starts to feel incredibly unstable. They begin to wonder what you are doing, who you are with, and why you are surviving so perfectly without them. They are lurking in the shadows right now, watching your stories from anonymous accounts, asking mutual friends about you, and analyzing your absolute silence. They are desperate for a sign that you are secretly miserable, secretly pining for their return. They need to believe that they broke you, but you refuse to shatter. You have effectively flipped the entire script on them. The person who used to dictate your emotional state is now trapped in a cage of their own endless curiosity. Your healing has become their greatest mystery, and your peace is the one puzzle they simply cannot solve. You have won by simply refusing to play the game. To truly understand why they are watching you so intensely, you have to look past their confident mask. Deep down, the narcissist operates from a place of profound inner emptiness. They do not have a solid sense of self, so they rely entirely on the reactions of other people to confirm that they actually exist in this world. When you were chasing them, you were providing a massive, constant stream of emotional validation. Your pain and your desperation were basically mirror reflections showing them how powerful they were. You were the reliable fuel that kept their false persona inflated. Taking that away is like taking away their actual survival. They are not watching you because they suddenly realized your worth or because they missed the deep emotional connection you shared. I know that is a hard truth to hear, but it is deeply necessary for your healing. They are watching you because they are terrified of what your absence implies about their own lack of importance. Your silence is essentially a massive rejection of their fake reality. By moving on, you are silently communicating that they are entirely replaceable, ordinary, and irrelevant to your happiness. For someone with a pathologically fragile ego, being deemed irrelevant is a psychological death sentence they simply cannot handle. So, they observe you in silence, trying to gather data. They want to see if you look tired, if you look sad, or if you are secretly posting hidden messages meant for them. They are scanning your life for any tiny crack in your armor, any small sign that their absence destroyed you. They absolutely need you to be suffering. It is a profoundly bizarre and twisted form of object permanence. Like a toddler, If they cannot see you actively wanting them, they panic. But because their pride will not allow them to reach out and risk being rejected, they resort to this silent, obsessive surveillance. They become an invisible spectator in your new life. They are trying to figure out how you manage to reclaim your power. In their mind, they completely owned you. You were supposed to remain a broken toy on their shelf, always available for them to pick up whenever they felt bored. Seeing you put yourself back together completely shatters their delusion of ultimate control. You see, the narcissist never actually believes that anyone can permanently leave them. They think their manipulation is flawless. So when you consistently maintain no contact, it creates a massive glitch in their internal matrix. It forces them to quietly obsess over the one person who finally saw right through their mask. And the hardest pill for them to swallow is that you did not leave because you found someone better. You left because you finally realized that absolute nothingness was actually better than the toxic chaos they provided. You chose peace over their presence, and that kind of profound rejection stings them on a cellular level. Your quiet indifference is driving them completely mad. They do not know how to fight an enemy who is not even on the battlefield anymore. They can deploy all their usual manipulative tactics, but those weapons are utterly useless when you refuse to engage. You have starved them out simply by walking away into your own peace. There is a specific, undeniable moment when this shift truly solidifies. It is the day they finally realize that you are genuinely not coming back. Up until that point, they were coasting on the arrogant assumption that your boundaries would eventually crumble. But then, the absolute reality of your absence suddenly hits them. They might see a picture of you smiling, genuinely happy, with light back in your eyes. Or maybe they just feel the cold, heavy weight of another month passing without a single word from you. That is the exact moment the panic quietly sets in. The power dynamic irreversibly flips, and they are left holding empty hands. This is when the silent watching becomes incredibly intense. They might accidentally view a story from their main account, slipping up in their desperate need to know what you are doing. Or they might try a pathetic Hoover attempt. A random text about something trivial, just to see if you will finally take the bait and reply. But you do not bite. You see the text, you feel a brief flutter in your chest, and then you just delete it. That action, right there, is your ultimate victory. In that quiet moment of deleted silence, the narcissist realizes their old spells no longer work on you. The magic is gone, and the curtain has been pulled entirely back. The realization that they have totally lost access to your beautiful energy sends them into a private spiral. They cannot publicly admit this, of course, because that would destroy their carefully curated image. So they suffer in silence, obsessively checking your digital footprints while pretending they do not care at all. They are witnessing your stunning transformation from a front row seat they never paid for. You are rebuilding your life, rediscovering your passions, and surrounded by people who actually value you. Every single step forward you take is a tiny, agonizing reminder of the incredible person they foolishly threw entirely away. It drives them completely crazy to know that you survived their absolute worst. They pushed you to the brink, tried to dismantle your self-esteem, and expected you to stay broken. Seeing you rise from the ashes of their abuse is a brilliant defiance they cannot comprehend. You became a masterpiece without their permission. Sometimes, they will try to triangulate you from a distance. They will aggressively post pictures with new people, hoping it gets back to you, hoping it ruins your day. But when you continue moving forward, completely unbothered, their pathetic little show falls totally flat. The audience they desperately want is simply gone. You have become the one that got away, but not in a romantic, poetic sense. You are the emotional supply source that finally escaped the slaughterhouse. You are the one who looked at their hollow, empty soul and decided it was not worth your precious time. They will quietly carry the permanent sting of your departure forever. Your silence is a massive, impenetrable fortress. They circle the walls every single day, looking for a weakness, a crack, a forgotten door left open. But you have sealed every entry point. They are locked outside in the cold reality of their own toxic consequences, staring at the beautiful kingdom you built all on your own. This silent surveillance eventually begins to take a very real toll on their mental state. The narcissist relies on controlling the narrative, but they cannot control a narrative you have completely opted out of. Their inability to provoke a reaction from you makes them feel utterly impotent. Their grand illusion is shattering. They start to project their own internal misery onto everyone else around them. The new people in their life inevitably begin to disappoint them because nobody can perfectly fill the void of their fractured ego. They secretly compare every new person to the incredible standard of loyalty and deep love that you previously gave them. But they will absolutely never admit this out loud. They will continue to wear their plastic smile and pretend their life is a perfect dream. Behind closed doors, however, they are frantically monitoring your peace. They are trapped in a self-made prison of resentment, unable to let go of the toy that simply walked itself away. Let their pathetic, silent obsession be the closure you always deeply deserved but never actually received. You do not need a grand apology or a tearful confession to know the profound impact you had on their hollow life. Their daily lurking, their hidden accounts, their absolute inability to forget you, that is your true closure. You completely disrupted their incredibly toxic cycle, and that requires immense bravery. Most people stay trapped in that dark loop for decades, endlessly trying to love the abuse out of their tormentor. But you finally saw the terrifying truth, and you chose to save yourself. You cut the heavy chain and you let them fall. They now have to live with the undeniable fact that they could not completely destroy you. Despite all the gaslighting, all the cruel lies, and all the deliberate emotional starvation, your beautiful core remained totally intact. You took your immense capacity for deep love and you brilliantly redirected it back toward yourself. The tragedy of the narcissist is that they will spend the rest of their miserable life repeating this exact same cycle. They will find new victims, idealize them, devalue them, and eventually discard them. But in the quiet moments of the dark night, they will always remember the one incredible person who simply stopped playing. You are basically a living, breathing testament to their ultimate failure. You are the terrifying proof that their manipulative mask is not invincible. By purely thriving in their absence, you permanently dismantle the delusion of their godlike power. You are the quiet rebellion that keeps them awake staring at the ceiling. So let them watch. Let them observe from the dark shadows while you aggressively step into the warm, bright sunlight. They are merely a ghost haunting the absolute edges of your magnificent new life. You do not need to perform for them, hide from them, or even acknowledge their pathetic existence. You are utterly free now. Their silent watching is truly a testament to your immense, undeniable value. It is the ultimate confirmation that everything you gave them was incredibly real, rare, and profoundly valuable. They foolishly threw away a priceless diamond, and now they are forced to watch you brilliantly shine from completely across the room. As you completely move forward, you must protect your peace with absolute ferocity. Knowing they are secretly watching might occasionally tempt you to post things just to provoke a tiny reaction. Do not fall into that trap. Do not lower your vibration to match their toxic frequency. Keep living your beautiful life just for you. Your healing journey is not a performance for their twisted entertainment. Every boundary you set, every moment of genuine laughter, every peaceful morning you enjoy is yours alone. It does not belong to them anymore. You have totally reclaimed your own narrative, and they are permanently written out of the upcoming chapters. It is incredibly important to remember that their obsession is not rooted in love. Please do not confuse their creepy surveillance with genuine affection. It is solely about control, ego, and their inability to accept defeat. You must firmly keep the heavy door bolted shut, no matter how desperately they scratch at the frame. You are finally rediscovering the brilliant person you were always meant to be before their dark shadow fell over you. The anxiety is slowly fading, the confusion is clearing up, and your nervous system is finally remembering how to rest. This profound peace is exactly what you fought so incredibly hard to finally achieve. There will be days when the heavy memories try to pull you backward. You might wonder if you made a mistake, or if they have genuinely changed for the better. When those quiet moments hit, remind yourself of the deep exhaustion you felt when you were desperately chasing them. Remember the beautiful silence you chose instead. You have beautifully graduated from a brutal, horrific school of emotional survival. The harsh lessons were incredibly painful, but they forged a deeply unbreakable strength within your spirit. You now possess a highly tuned radar for manipulation. You will never, ever allow anyone to disrespect your beautiful heart like that. Take a deep, grounding breath right now. Feel the calm, steady rhythm of your own beautiful heartbeat. That is the sound of pure, unadulterated victory. That is the profound rhythm of a brilliant soul that fought its way out of absolute darkness. You did the absolute hardest thing, and you survived it with stunning, total grace. They can watch your every single move in complete silence for the absolute rest of their empty lives. It changes literally nothing about your brilliant trajectory. You are a rapidly moving train, and they are just standing helplessly on the abandoned platform, staring at the bright lights fading into the beautiful distance. The absolute best revenge is not caring what they think anymore. It is reaching a point where their invisible presence in the digital shadows means absolutely nothing to your deeply joyful reality. You are too busy building an incredible empire of genuine love and profound peace to worry about a ghost from your painful past. So keep confidently walking away. Keep brilliantly building your incredible life. Keep fiercely shining your incredibly bright light. Because they never truly deserved the profound warmth of your fire, they only ever wanted to steal your beautiful spark. Let them sit alone in the dark cold, watching you powerfully burn so bright. You finally did the one thing they genuinely never expected you to do. You just stopped chasing them. And now, in the heavy silence they created, they are watching your every move. It feels incredibly strange, doesn't it? Knowing that the person who once ignored your pain is now quietly obsessing over your absolute silence. For the longest time, you were the one doing all the heavy lifting. You were the one reaching out, trying to fix things, trying to make them understand. You poured your entirely beautiful soul into a bottomless pit, hoping